Weekend baking together. On the weekend, the whole family gathered in the kitchen to bake together. The table was soon covered in flour, eggs and mixing bowls. Everyone rolled up their sleeves, excited to help. Dad carefully measured the ingredients. Mom mixed the batter, and the sister prepared the oven. The little brother tried his best to join in, but mostly ended up making a bigger mess. Before anyone noticed, flour had smudged his cheeks and nose, turning his face white. When he looked up in confusion, the whole family burst into laughter. The sister teased him playfully, calling him a little flour ghost, while Dad pretended to be serious, reminding him to be careful. Still, he couldn't hide his smile, and soon the kitchen was filled with cheerful laughter. Eggs accidentally spilled onto the table, and bits of dough stuck to their fingers and clothes. Yet no one complained. They worked together, sharing small tasks, jokes, and warm glances. The simple act of baking slowly turned into a joyful family moment, full of energy and closeness. As the cake baked, a sweet aroma spread throughout the house, making everyone's stomach rumble. They waited impatiently, peeking through the oven door and counting down the minutes. When the cake was finally ready, Mum carefully took it out, and the family gathered around the table to taste their creation. The cake wasn't perfect, a little uneven and slightly messy, but it was delicious. More than its taste, it carried the warmth of shared effort and family love. That simple weekend baking session became a small but precious memory, one they would all remember with a smile.
One afternoon, Little Pig is playing alone in the bedroom. Little Pig opens an old book. A piece of paper falls out of the book. Little Pig's eyes widen. A red X is drawn on the map. Yippee! Little Pig puts on a hat and backpack. Little Pig sneaks into the yard. Big Pig's sister notices and follows quietly. Little Pig compares the map with the yard. Little Pig counts each step. Little Pig stops near a tree. Little Pig starts digging. Dirt flies everywhere as Little Pig digs faster. Little Pig hits something hard.
Yeah!
Big Pig's sister runs over. A small old box appears.
Wow!
Little Pig slowly opens the box. Inside are candies and old toys. Little Pig looks confused, then laughs. Mom and Dad Pig arrive. It turns out to be Mom and Dad's childhood treasure. The family sits together, looking through the box. Little Pig shares the candies with everyone. The greatest treasure is not gold or jewels, but imagination, laughter, and moments shared with family.
The best dad. In the morning, soft sunlight streamed through the window as Dad was busy sweeping the floor. Suddenly, the older sister came over and pointed at a picture on the wall that had tilted to one side, asking Dad to fix it. Dad smiled and picked up a hammer and a nail. In just a few minutes, the picture was hanging straight again, looking neat and perfect. The sister happily thanked him, and Dad gently patted her head. In the kitchen, Mum was cooking when thick smoke suddenly rose from the stove. Startled, she quickly called for Dad. Hearing her voice, Dad rushed in, turned off the gas. Mom let out a sigh of relief. Out in the yard, the little brother was playing with balloons when one slipped from his hands and floated high into the sky. He stood still, eyes welling up with tears. Dad quickly brought another balloon, carefully blew it up, and tied the string before handing it to him. The boy's face instantly lit up, and he hugged the new balloon as if it were a precious gift. Then came the day when Dad had to go on a business trip. The house suddenly felt quieter, and everyone missed him deeply. They found themselves talking about him and the little things he used to do for them. Finally, Dad returned, carrying a small gift box in his hands. The moment the door opened, the whole family rushed forward and wrapped him in a warm hug. Laughter filled the house, washing away all the longing. In that moment, everyone felt the same way. Dad truly was the best. The Vegetable Planting Contest. Morning. The backyard garden is filled with sunlight. The soil has been loosened and divided into 3 small beds. The older sister, the younger brother, and Dad stand side by side. Each of them holds a packet of seeds. They look at the garden beds, then they look at each other. Dad signals, "Start!" The younger brother tears open his seed packet, sprinkles the seeds wildly. Seeds scatter even outside the bed. The older sister sprinkles the seeds slowly, evenly, then gently covers them with soil using her hands. Dad sprinkles the seeds very seriously, measures the spacing, sows them one small pinch at a time. The younger brother grabs the watering can, waters with full force. Water splashes everywhere. The older sister steps aside, laughs. Dad waters just the right amount, nods in satisfaction. Quick scene change. A few days later. Another morning. All 3 rush out into the garden. The cabbages have sprouted. The older sister's bed. Round, even cabbages, lush and green. Dad's bed. Big cabbages, neatly lined up, very by the book. The younger brother's bed. Cabbages. Big and small mixed together, growing in crooked rows. Dad signals. Time to harvest. The 3 bend down, pull out each cabbage. The older sister hugs her round cabbages, smiles. Dad lifts the biggest cabbage, nods proudly. The younger brother hugs a slightly small cabbage. Mum walks out from the house, looks at the 3 cabbages. She walks around, observes carefully. Mum points at the younger brother's cabbage. The younger brother's eyes widen. Then he jumps up happily. The older sister and Dad look at each other, burst out laughing. A surprise replacement gift. In the afternoon, the little brother took his ball outside to play. He ran around the yard, kicking it with all his strength. In one powerful shot, the ball flew straight into the fence and suddenly went flat. He froze, staring at the broken ball, his face slowly falling. Not far away, the older sister was practicing badminton. As she swung her racket hard, the handle suddenly snapped. She stopped, holding the broken racket in her hands, letting out a quiet sigh. The 2 siblings looked at each other, saying nothing, and silently put their things away before going back inside. Their parents had seen everything. That evening, they quietly left the house. The brother and sister stayed behind, wondering where they had gone. The little brother kept glancing at his broken ball, while the sister carefully placed her damaged racket in the corner of the room. A while later, the door opened. Their parents returned, carrying 2 small bags. The father handed the little brother a brand new ball, and the mother gave the sister a new badminton racket. For a moment, they were speechless. Then their faces lit up with joy. The little brother hugged his new ball tightly, and the sister held her racket with sparkling eyes. The whole family smiled together. In that simple moment, Warmth and happiness quietly filled the house.
The rampaging duck morning. The house is quiet. Sunlight streams through the window. The older sister sits on a chair, reading a book. The younger brother plays with a toy car on the floor. The car rolls back and forth. The back door is slightly open. A duck walks in from the yard. Its claws go tap-tap on the floor. The younger brother looks up, sees the duck, freezes. The older sister turns around, following her brother's gaze. A duck is inside the house. Before anyone can react, the duck jumps onto the chair, flapping its wings wildly. A cushion falls to the floor. The two siblings panic. They dodge and run in opposite directions. The duck jumps down, pecks at the toys. The toy car gets pushed and rolls away. The duck keeps running around the room. The room starts to descend into chaos. Mom runs out from the kitchen, sees the scene. Mom freezes, then holds her forehead. Dad runs in from the yard. Dad stops for a beat, looks at the duck, looks at the two kids. Dad rolls up his sleeves. Dad moves toward the duck. The duck startles, dashes in another direction. Dad chases after it. The duck runs around the table. Dad runs after it. The two siblings press against the wall, watching the chase. The duck jumps onto the sofa. Dad reaches, misses. The duck jumps down again, runs straight toward the back door. Dad speeds up, arms spread wide. The duck suddenly turns left. Dad almost slips, but manages to keep his balance. Dad turns his head, signals Mom to open the door. The back door is flung open. Dad herds the duck toward the door. The duck bolts outside. Dad shuts the door. The house goes quiet. Dad exhales deeply, hands on his hips. The two siblings look at each other, then burst out laughing.
A day of caring for the little brother. Early in the morning, the little brother woke up looking tired and weak. His face was pale and his movements were slow. Mum gently placed her hand on his forehead and realized that he had a slight fever. Without hesitation, the family immediately changed all their plans for the day. Nothing mattered more than taking care of him. Mum went into the kitchen to cook a warm bowl of porridge, filling the house with a gentle, comforting smell. Dad carefully prepared warm water and medicine, moving quietly so as not to disturb the calm. The sister sat beside the bed, holding a storybook and reading softly, hoping her gentle voice would help him relax. The little brother lay still, listening to her soothing voice. Now and then, he gave a faint smile, his eyes slowly blinking with sleepiness. Dad patiently fed him spoonfuls of porridge, while Mum wiped the sweat from his forehead with a warm cloth. The usual busy rhythm of the house slowed down, replaced by a peaceful silence and tender care. By the afternoon, he began to feel better and was able to sit up, quietly gazing out the window. Soft sunlight streamed into the room, spreading a warm glow across his face. The air felt lighter, and everyone let out a quiet sigh of relief. Smiles slowly returned, and the gentle atmosphere filled the space once more. In that simple moment, the family realized something precious. Nothing in the world was more valuable than being together, healthy, safe, and surrounded by love. It was an ordinary day, yet it became a memory filled with warmth, gratitude, and deep family affection. A warm family meal. In the morning, Mum went to the market to buy ingredients for the family meal. She carefully chose fresh fish and good cuts of meat, hoping to prepare something delicious for everyone. While she was busy picking and chatting with the vendors, she accidentally forgot to buy vegetables. A while later, as she was busy in the kitchen, Mum suddenly noticed that there were no vegetables in the basket. She hurried to look for Dad to ask him to buy some, but then remembered that he had already gone out. Out on the road, Dad was on his way when his motorbike suddenly broke down. He tried hard to push it forward, but it was too heavy to move. Meanwhile, at home, The older sister and little brother noticed that Mum seemed anxious. When they found out that she had forgotten to buy vegetables, they looked at each other and quickly came up with an idea. They ran to the garden behind the house and picked fresh green vegetables together. Their hands were dirty with soil and their clothes were a bit muddy, but their faces were bright with happy smiles. They hurried back to the kitchen and gave the vegetables to Mum, helping her finish the meal in time. When Dad finally arrived home, still pushing his broken bike, his face showed clear signs of exhaustion and sadness. But as soon as he stepped inside, he was surprised to see a table full of warm, delicious food. The whole family sat down together, sharing laughter and stories. In that simple moment, all the worries of the day faded away, leaving only warmth, love and happiness around the family table. Building a mini hot air balloon. A quiet afternoon in the yard. Dad is fixing an old fan. The little brother is playing with a plastic bag, blowing it up and letting it float. The bag rises for a moment, then falls. The boy watches it carefully. His eyes light up. He runs to Dad, points at the sky, then points at the plastic bag. Dad pauses and thinks. Mum and sister look over, curious. The family starts collecting materials. Old fabric is brought out. Colourful plastic bags are stacked together. The fan is cleaned. Tape and strings are spread across the floor. Dad cuts the fabric. Mum sews the edges. Sister measures and writes notes. Brother holds things and passes the tape. Slowly, the fabric becomes a big round shape. Plastic bags are attached underneath. The small fan is fixed at the opening. The sun begins to set. A gentle breeze blows. They carry the balloon to the rooftop. Dad checks the strings. Mum holds the body. Sister prepares a timer. Brother stands ready, eyes wide. Dad turns on the fan. Air flows inside. The balloon slowly expands. It sways in the wind. Everyone holds their breath. Dad releases his hands. The mini balloon lifts, slowly, rising off the ground. Brother jumps with joy. Sister claps. Mum smiles with her hand over her mouth. Dad watches proudly. They bring out chairs, sit together on the rooftop. The sky turns orange and pink. Clouds drift slowly. Cool air flows. Brother leans on Mum's shoulder. Sister rests near Dad. Dad points at the sky. They all look up together. Fixing up a new study. Corner one afternoon, the whole family gathered to fix up a small study corner for the little brother. They wanted to create a cozy and comfortable space where he could read, write, and learn happily. Dad carefully measured the space and began building a small wooden desk, his hands moving steadily with patience and care. Mum went out to choose bright, soft-coloured curtains to bring more light and warmth into the room. Meanwhile, the sister sorted through the books and notebooks, arranging them neatly on the shelves. The little brother stood nearby, quietly watching every small change with curious eyes. He followed each movement closely, his face filled with excitement and anticipation. From time to time, he asked small questions, eager to understand what everyone was doing. The room slowly transformed, becoming brighter, tidier, and more welcoming. When everything was finally ready, the little brother sat down at his new desk for the first time. His eyes sparkled with joy as he gently touched the smooth surface, taking in every detail. Dad smiled and softly patted his head, proud of their shared effort. Mum carefully adjusted the study lamp, making sure the light was just right for his eyes. The sister hung a few small drawings and colourful pictures on the wall, adding cheerful touches to the space. The once ordinary corner of the room had turned into a warm and inspiring study area. The shared umbrella, The whole family went out together to do some shopping when the sky suddenly darkened. Heavy clouds rolled in and raindrops began to fall, tapping softly on the pavement. Dad quickly opened a small umbrella and everyone squeezed in close beneath it. Shoulders touching, bodies pressed together, they couldn't help but laugh as a light drizzle soaked their clothes. The wind started to blow harder, making the umbrella sway from side to side. Mum held her little son tightly so he wouldn't slip, while the older sister tugged at Dad's jacket to keep him close. The tiny umbrella struggled to shield them all, and soon their sleeves and pant legs were damp. Yet, instead of complaining, they laughed even more, enjoying the strange warmth that came from standing so close together. Raindrops splashed into puddles along the road, reflecting the glow of streetlights. Their footsteps echoed softly as they hurried home, sharing small jokes and playful complaints. Every now and then, a sudden gust of wind would turn the umbrella inside out, making everyone burst into laughter again. Dad would quickly fix it, while Mum teased him for choosing such a tiny umbrella for the whole family. By the time they reached home, their clothes were slightly wet, their hair a little messy, but their hearts were full. The rain had turned an ordinary shopping trip into a small adventure, one filled with laughter, warmth, and togetherness. It became a simple yet unforgettable memory, a moment where a shared umbrella and a sudden rain shower brought the family even closer.